Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm Sizen Shib, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the 36th of all X-Space Weekly DAO Update series. This X-Space was held September 26, 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces. Hello and good day to you. Number 36. This week we're talking about crushing bones on Bone Crusher. A whole week of lessons after liquid staking went live. Last time we got together 7 days ago. Hi, I'm Pulse Digital in the K9 Finance account once again, and you're here on a Thursday for the best community update show on X. But I don't want to assume you've been here before. Maybe you're new. Maybe Bone Crusher brought you in. Hi, maybe it's your first K9 Spaces. Welcome to the show. I get to host this thing. This is a thing that I get to do, and we're going to bring up all the other people that are going to speak about what's been going on this week. So hang out while we request, or while our friends request their spots, while we approve speakers and stuff like that. We'll get everybody in place. We're going to build a panel for you to go over some weekly updates for K9 Finance. Also, while we do that, there are some things you can do for me. The comment section is where you get to go if you don't have a microphone. If you've got a keyboard, you can type down there. You can post your memes. You can share your stories. Hell, you can show me what you had for lunch. I don't care, as long as you post in the comment section. It's helpful for me. It's good for you. Put it down there. Share the spaces. Put it on your timeline. Share it to the groups that you know would be interested in this. If especially this time around, we're looking for bone holders, people that have bone token from Shiba Inu's ecosystem, because we're talking a lot about the liquid staking there. So share this into the groups where people can pull up. And lastly is emojis. You press those. It lets us know that you can hear what's going on, that you're having a good time. You can do that as much as you want. And also keep your eyes north on the pinned posts as we go through the show, because we'll get some stuff pinned up there, some graphics and metrics from throughout the week that I'm sure we're going to end up discussing throughout the show. So, like I said, that's how the spaces work. My name is Pulse Digital. I'm in the K9 Finance account. All opinions from the K9 Finance account basically fall on me. Never assume that I'm speaking for all of K9 Finance, but I do enjoy doing the shows. So as we were going through that, you notice I got the Shib account in the co-host spot. They look great. I appreciate you guys pulling up to hang out at the spaces. Putting them in the co-host spot is great for the metrics. You guys know how the algorithm works, but they come and hang out with us, and they provide that support, because obviously we're trying to do everything we can for Shibarium. So it's nice to have that reciprocity. I also got Buzz and Turtle up here. Buzz, what's up, my man? It's been 7 days, but it probably feels like a lot longer for you.
Hey Shane, thanks again for hosting. Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, it's an awesome feeling having a live product and seeing the results and the adoption from the community. It's when you have months of hard work go into something, it's fun to watch numbers go up and to watch adoption from the community and see what it can benefit the community as well. It's obviously great results from K9 off the bat, but I would just love seeing even greater results for our partners as well. And it's very humbling to see that.
So I'm going to ask him to dive into this, but what we're talking about this whole time here is the launch of the liquid staking product from K9 Finance last week that allows for liquid staking of the Bone token to cross onto Shibarium. I don't want to assume that anybody knows what we're talking about. What metrics are going up? What numbers are going up? That sounds exciting, but we have to quantify and reel that in. Shibarium is the L2 that exists for Shiba Inu. Buzz and the team have spent a very long time building a liquid staking product that is going to be and has been now deployed on the mainnet for Shibarium, allowing bone holders to cross these bridges and stuff. So when you say numbers are going up, what tokens, what numbers, what do you mean?
Yeah, so very exciting that today Shibarium has achieved its all-time high for TVL. So many people here who have been to multiple spaces kind of know that the mission of K9 Finance and the DAO has been to bring DeFi to Shiba Inu. And doing that with the official liquid staking solution for Shibarium. And TVL has been something that we've talked about for a long time. It's been something that we've said that the adoption of the K9 product can really improve TVL, which is a DeFi metric that is widely looked at in crypto. And just within 1 week of launching, the Shibarium TVL has hit an all-time high. And I think that's, at least personally, and other members of the development team certainly feel that as though this is just the start and lots of room to still grow. But when you see that happening, it's just a clear sign that what we've built is working and making an impact. And that's a very great feeling as a product builder.
Been a long time in the shadows getting this thing built, and we talked about last week the importance of actually getting to see people use it, both from the perspective of people that were waiting up for it, but also for the team, for the development team, to see this thing actually working after all the audits and all the work and stuff like that. So kudos to you guys. Congratulations. Round of emojis. I know we've gone through this already, but it seems to be going really well. The $3.6 million is the number that I have in front of me for the current total volume locked on Shibarium. Does that sound about right to you?
I think as of today, it's actually around 4.3 million. And a lot of that is attributed to the recent spike in bone going up. And obviously very excited about that, as over the course of the last 4 to 6 months and building K9 and knowing that bone was going to be widely needed for our product. K9 DAO has been probably one of the larger net purchasers of bone. So to see bone really taking off here in the last 24 hours, again, very exciting. So it's a wonderful day, and I'll only hope that bone can continue this trajectory as well.
2.6 million bone tokens also staked. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. So that's the total number of bone that has been delegated, staked via the K9 platform on Ethereum, and then that value is transferred to Shibarium in the form of the liquid staking token, which is KN Bone, and just in that time as well, having that amount of bone, that 2.5 million, put into our validator, as well as some of the other bone that's already on the validator. We're also the second largest validator on Shibarium now as well. So it's been a whirlwind of a week, and we kind of figure out different metrics and things to be very proud of as a community every hour and every day, and it's just a great feeling to continually be hitting these milestones, not only for K9 but for Shibarium as well.
When you mentioned being the second largest validator, again, let's assume there might be some people that pulled up in here. What does that mean, and what does it mean to have become the second largest one in this time frame?
Validators have bone delegated to them. And basically, in a proof of stake network, the more of the native token that you have delegated to your validator, the more that validator earns. And the genesis or the reasoning behind this is that if a validator has a lot of skin in the game, delegated bone to their validator, they're going to work as an honest actor to maintain the integrity of the network. It's a very, very high level explanation, but the more of the native token that you have delegated to your validator is certainly a sign of trust and honorability within a proof of stake network. So to be trusted with having the second most bone delegated to our validator speaks a lot towards the reputation that K9 upholds within the SHIB ecosystem, and just a testament to growing our community and building that trustworthy brand that people are trusting to uphold the integrity of the Shibarium network. So it's not something that we take lightly. Certainly have a lot of work go into operating our validator with a high level of integrity. We have 100% uptime on our validator. It's never been slashed or anything like that. So a lot of work goes into that, and it's just seeing that people are valuing liquid staking and people are wanting to put their bone to work using K9, and it's a big sign of trust.
Part of my job for community purposes is to ask tough questions every now and then. You made a post earlier this week on your personal account that mentioned the issue with the solving fee and the reward. Can you explain what you meant when you talked about that discrepancy?
Oh yeah. So basically, what we've been building out dashboard capabilities using Dune Analytics. So that Dune Analytics is a popular platform where you can go to look at a dashboard for all of the metrics and statistics related to a DeFi product. And as we were doing that, we go through a lot of data and have noticed that our validator has been signing about 25% of the checkpoints on Shibarium. And so checkpoints happen, I think it's every 45 minutes to an hour and a half. These need to be signed. It costs a gas fee to do so. The gas fee right now is quite high, right? Just because Ethereum gas has been spiking lately. And the economics of Shibarium is that every checkpoint, I believe it's 50 bone that is given out to validators for helping to validate that checkpoint. And 5 bone of that is given to the validator who actually signs the checkpoint. So you have to pay the gas fee to sign the checkpoint. And right now, the actual gas fee is more than the reward. So like that 5 bone that you would get as a signing validator would be less than the gas fee. And I added into that tweet, there's a few times in the history of Bitcoin, actually now is one of those times where the cost to mine one Bitcoin is about $73,000, give or take. It's certainly an estimate. Bitcoin's at what, 64 or 65K today. And this has only happened a few times in the history of Bitcoin. It's usually happened within bear markets or medium sort of heat markets, kind of at a similar time frame in terms of its relation to a halving as we're in right now. And after that's happened, Bitcoin has gone on a run up. So it's happened a few times, and if history kind of goes true, Bitcoin typically gets very bullish after times like that. And the reason for that is because miners are not selling their Bitcoin to get a profit. They don't want to sell their Bitcoin at a loss. They're holding it to speculate that it's going to go up. And what we sort of evaluated here is that there's an interesting paradigm right now when if you're a validator signing a checkpoint on Shibarium, that gas fee that you're paying, so that cost of making sure that checkpoint goes through, it's actually higher right now than the reward. So a few things could happen in a scenario like that. It's either that you see the same economics happen in Bitcoin where all validators are getting that 5 bone reward if they're signing a checkpoint. They're choosing not to sell that because they don't want to sell at a loss, and they're holding that, maintaining a stronger position and more holders of bone and people who are earning it, and the price can appreciate from there. Or the other potential option is that there just needs to be a little bit different of an economic incentive given to validators to make sure that they're actually signing those checkpoints. So to me, both of those options are very, very bullish for not only K9, but for the Shibarium ecosystem in general, because of course the price of bone needs to be higher to have the economic incentives for signing checkpoints, or there needs to be a higher reward. And if there's a higher reward, that means that the liquid staking product would have a higher yield. So both outcomes to me are very bullish for the future of Shibarium.
That is such an interesting topic, and I actually want to give Turtle a chance to bounce on that because it's kind of macro. We're not just talking about SHIB. You're looping in Bitcoin and talking about the halving, which we're coming up on the 6-month post-halving mark, and that'll also be post-election. There's just there's a confluence of interesting things here. Turtle, what do you think about when you think about that reward not quite matching up? Does that bother you, or would you just act like a Bitcoin miner and hold and wait it out?
Yeah, so I mean, as you know, our sentiment on Shibarium is very bullish. So I think for us, it's definitely a good analogy to the Bitcoin miner and kind of just waiting for the price to go up. At the same time, I think it's important for the dev team operating those parameters to keep a close eye on market condition and maybe, adjust things to cover things in high gas environments or to be more dynamic. Either way, we're excited to continue to grow and build. And, if the price of bone does continue to rise, then it will kind of offset the imbalance in the math there.
And one thing, since I've got you on, and we're talking about this, is the work that was done with DeFi Llama this week. I know you worked really hard behind the scenes. We're talking about all this tracking, and Buzz has got these numbers and stuff, but you had to work really hard to get this properly tracked. Can you talk a little bit about what that took and what that meant?
Yeah. So for anyone who's not familiar with DeFi Llama, it's just an aggregator site that is one of the most trusted in the space by people who are actually looking for opportunity, people in DeFi. And so when you're listed on DeFi Llama and they might be looking for somewhere to park their bone or a new protocol or liquid staking endeavor that's popped up, you're going to show up, right? And more importantly, if you look at a chain, which is how a lot of us evaluate the growth of any individual chain, we go to DeFi Llama, we look at the TVL, and we hope to see it growing, and then we decide to move over there, right? Or if it's reducing, we move out. Well, for Shibarium, the TVL's been relatively low, and it's a little bit underreported because ShibaSwap hasn't built the adapter, which it's not too much on the dev work side. We got it done in about a day. But there is a little bit of back and forth to your point of communicating with the DeFi Llama team and building that relationship and helping them kind of track the complexities correctly. So when it first went up, there were a few things that they had miscategorized on their side. So I just reached out and helped them get that sorted out. And there are a few additional DeFi Llama things coming I'll probably be able to talk about next week. So a little bit of a teaser there, but working on deeper integrations there. And we're also working with all the major DeFi platforms just to raise awareness, because we believe there aren't that many bone holders truly aware of what we've built here. And getting out onto DBank and setting up our official profile there, claiming the protocol, and kind of starting to get a bit of growth marketing going on DBank is on the roadmap for the next week or two. I did want to touch on one point. If you go to DeFi Llama and you look now for yield on any asset, let's use Bone as an example, the only opportunities to get yield on Bone, according to DeFi Llama, I don't know for sure if this covers the whole market. If I'm wrong, I'd love if someone would DM me. They're all paired with another asset other than Bone, right? And if anyone knows about providing liquidity, if you're pairing against, a different volatile asset, you have a risk of impermanent loss, essentially, losing out on upside or losing money on the other side of the pair. In our case, you have Bone paired with Bone, and the earnings is 25+%. I don't have it in front of me. And there's no risk of impermanent loss. And so this, I believe, makes Bone, K and Bone the only opportunity for Bone to earn yield without impermanent loss, and at a much higher rate than I think the average is. So I think that's something we could use help building awareness on, because if you're a Bone holder, it kind of just makes sense.
How do you think we raise that awareness? Like, what's the messaging?
I think a lot of it's grassroots, right? Shib Army is very grassroots, and just people making other Bone holders aware, like, hey, check it out. I moved my Bone over to Bone Crusher, and here's what I'm getting out of it. And there's no downside risk if you're long on Bone, which, most of these folks are. So I think it's really grassroots. We're working on the marketing side. Launch has been making sure everything's safe and works well, which, we're kind of on the other side of, and still requires a lot of time to keep an eye on. But the marketing side is kind of working on a few campaigns and angles there too. But yeah, a lot of it really comes down to just grassroots, letting other Bone holders know what's going on.
Next time you get a chance, can you ask DeFi Llama if they would be interested in a Shibarium Spaces? We can set something like that up.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because if they're going to be working with more and more of what's going on over here, and you're basically giving them the intro to it, you ought to just be like, hey man, why don't you come over to my house? And we can explain it. It'll be better. You'll be the guest, and it'll be fun and stuff, and we can put something together if they're into that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, we'll do that. That'll be a good time. CoinMerge account slid in. That's actually Funk up there, right? Is that you?
Yeah, I joined from my normal Funk account with the other phone, but you know how Android and Apples are like cats and dogs when it comes to X-based technology. So obviously you didn't see that request. So I joined in here with the CoinMerge. But the upside here is this account is 44,000 plus followers. So maybe we increase the overall optics and impressions that we're getting here.
That's good, man. What do you think? Listen to these guys talk about some of this stuff with the importance of DeFi Llama tracking and all that.
Yeah, I think what stood out to me is particularly what Buzz was saying about the checkpoints and the Bone and how much Bone you get in reward being 5. But I think about the TVL and I think about the numbers, and I think we said it was like 2.4 million Bone locked or 2.6 million in our validator. And I think about the all-time high at Bone, or even just Bone not but a year ago when Bone was $2 or, at all-time high of $3. We're talking about $6 million of assets that have come potentially, based on historical price, that have come in to the Bone Crusher product, to the K9 product in a week. that's absolutely insane. Now, of course, that's a speculative price. It's not the price now, but that's kind of how I look at it. And Bone will always be $1 in my eyes, I guess. So I'm pretty amazed by the amount of faith that we've built in our product, in our team, our organization as a whole. And then I also think about, man, that TVL, 4.6 million. What happens if Bone hits a moonshot? I know that the SHIB team's cooking something up. They're not sitting on their hands, right? So they've got something coming. What if Bone goes to $10 or $20 or $30? We're talking about all of a sudden that TVL getting in the tens of millions with the current Bone that's delegated there, or locked, I should say, or on the chain right now. So just huge potential upside here is what I see.
And what do you think then, because this is a great segue, about the partners that have been coming on, because we've opened up the ability now for all these other Shibarium brands like OneCent and Bad Idea. They've all got pairs now. Bad Idea opened up a trading pair. OneCent has opened up a trading pair. This is like a marketing paradise, right? Because now you've got co-marketing and stuff.
Yeah, it definitely brings a lot of new eyes to those projects, as well as helps the K9 as well. We created a big list of all the tokens. And I've been going through systematically and reaching out to these people and saying, hey, have you created a K9 Bone pair yet? Or would you be willing to do it? We pretty much went through the whole list of the bigger projects now at this point. So if you're listening and you've got a Shibarium project and I missed you, I'm sorry. But you're welcome to reach out to me or reach out to us. And if you're making waves on Shibarium, we see your chart, or you climbing the ranks of the top Shibarium tokens, it'll be obvious to me, and I'll reach out to you as well for that. But yeah, it really helps us. It helps bring eyes to them, and it just increases the K9 Bone pool, which is really, really valuable all around.
Good. We're looking to see a lot more volume on that, and that'll be something that as more and more projects launch over there, that'll be a big deal. So hopefully it'll kick off.
One big thing I wanted to mention today, and this is going to be on all of us, but you have to do it with a certain amount of understanding of risk too, because everyone is always like, go tell your friends to buy a token, right, or something like that from a team or community, and you have to be careful about that, because the last thing you want to do is get your mother to buy $2,000 of ETH at $4,800 per ETH, only for her to sit around for 3 years at loss. So you never really want to recommend people buy a token per se. But what I would say is what I'm going to be doing, and what I think that people should be doing, is who have delegated their Bone and are using our liquid staking model to basically show off some of their rewards to people who they know who have Bone. And go in those messages like, hey, I know my friend has 60,000 Bone. I know my friend has 6,000 Bone. I know my friend has 60 Bone, whatever it is. And say, hey, look at these rewards. Look how much yield I'm getting. I'm not advocating that you use this product, but I am educating you that it exists. And of course, you're free to do with your own funds, because people don't know about these opportunities. There are tons of people who hold Bone who do not know about K9 Finance and do not know about our model and do not know what potential yields it could bring them. So it's going to be an effort that behooves all of us to go tell those people about this opportunity. And I'll do my part. I'll go through the Shibarium groups and talk to people and get down on that level and really reach out one by one. But you guys can do that as well, of course, to help build this TVL. Because once that TVL keeps getting higher and higher and higher, the price of Bone keeps going higher and higher, it becomes a factor kind of system, where it just increases kind of exponentially. And then all of a sudden, we're one of the top layer 2 blockchains around, and then people start launching more projects, and that's the kind of thing that's going to get Shibarium to the next level.
Plenty of people on Ethereum still don't know about liquid staking, so it wouldn't be shocking that people don't know about liquid staking on Shibarium, because we've talked about people don't know about Shibarium. There's a discovery problem. We've got to work our way all the way up and down again to teach people all about these options, and that's a part of it, man. Getting into the groups, like you said, getting down on the ground level and talking to people. It's not just massive marketing. Sometimes it's just talking about it in the groups. I appreciate all that stuff. Coming up at about halfway point, usually about halfway through the show here, doing fine, but there are some pin posts as promised. If you guys haven't looked up there, Buzz has already mentioned some of this stuff, but Buzz, is there anything up there you wanted to particularly highlight? There's the 80 billion K9 staked and locked. That's a really nice number, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's depending on the source that you're looking at, like it's a very material amount of our our circulating supply. So it's just another feather in the cap of just the amount of confidence that the community has that what the product that we've built together and the product that we put into market has long-staying effect within the Shibarium ecosystem. So to have such a material amount of your circulating supply locked up for an average of 10 months is just such great news that our community believes in the DAO so much, and it's very humbling. Like our whale chat, which requires 400 million canine or more, it's growing by the day. We're welcoming more and more people in there. Our holder count is continuously going up week over week, which is a great sign as well. And we're just getting more grassroots exposure. We have so many great ideas for campaigns and marketing and co-marketing campaigns, and just very excited for the next phase of growth. It's our product is in the market. Certainly improvements that can be made, and ways that we can adjust the product to be a little bit more user-friendly for people. But it's there. It's producing amazing results. And within the next month, hopefully we'll have really, really great dashboarding capabilities for not only Canine, but Shibarium as a whole to see this progress in real time. And things like DeFi Llama and DBank integrations are so huge, because when, like Turtle said, when people are looking for new opportunities and they're hardcore DeFi users, they're people who are looking for yield, they're looking for new opportunities on different chains, they're looking for mispricing and just ways that they can use their crypto. These are the places that they're going. They're going to DeFi Llama. They're going and seeing which chains have the best TVL or the highest TVL or yield opportunities without impermanent loss. One of the communities in our whale, or one of the people in our whale chat mentioned that in a week since Canine launch, Shibarium has moved up 40 spots on DeFi Llama. So just imagine if you're somebody who goes on DeFi Llama and you're scrolling through which chains are performing well. 40 spots is probably 4 pages of clicking through different blockchains that are launching, and it just it positions Shibarium in such a much better position to be found. There's another area of DeFi Llama which you can click on, which is just called yield. And in that section, you can search any asset. So you could search Bone, Shib, Canine, and you can find any opportunities that DeFi Llama knows about to find yield. And if you type in Bone, the Canine product is not there yet, but we're working on it. The Bone opportunity will be the highest yield opportunity on that yield page for Bone, and it'll be the only one that, other than, of course, delegating directly to a validator for 2.4%, but it'll be the only opportunity, at least that I know of, that has no impermanent loss where you can earn on your Bone. And things like these integrations I'm just very bullish on in finding new users, because when you start positioning yourself strongly in places where your ideal customers, your ideal users live, that's how they find you.
I think that's a great way to think about discoverability too, because when you talk about pages moving up, do they also have like trending or rising sections and stuff like that on there?
That's a Turtle question. I have not seen I usually use DeFi Llama for research, and if it does have trending stuff, often in crypto, I sort of assume that a lot of those things are gamed. So even on DEX tools, like the trending coins,
of course they're gamed. Of course they're gamed. I'm just asking if there's a game I can play. That's what I want to know.
Of course, I just personally tune them out because I know that they're gamed. So I don't. If it may be there, but if it is, I probably had my eyes gloss over.
No, there's no trending type of anything on DeFi Llama. They really pride themselves on avoiding anything that could end up that way, and trying to kind of be like the truth for DeFi. So for them, brand-wise, it's not worth the risk. Just a little plug for them, though. They have a great dashboard they just released called feed.defillama.com. It's like a really cool crypto dashboard. Gives you all the latest news, major sex movement. Anyway, I don't work for DeFi Llama, but yeah. good site.
Shout out to DeFi Llama. So what I'll go with is probably trending on DeFi Llama if it were a thing. K9 Finance. I can appreciate that they don't want to do that, though. It's probably a nightmare to manage all that stuff. So I can understand why they wouldn't want to get into it, maintain some integrity and stuff. Again, these would be questions I would love to ask them if they came to a Spaces. Why have you chosen not to do that? What was that discussion like? That's all fun stuff to learn about them. We also had another farm went up. Chewy did a farm, and I think either Buzz or Turtle might know a little bit about this. You guys want to talk about Chewy putting a farm together as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's been a ton of projects that have started integrating K and Bone in some regard, and it's awesome that there's been so much adoption on Shibarium thus far. And for any projects who have integrated K and Bone, don't fret. We're definitely in the process of getting out all of these tweets that are announcing the projects who are adding a pair or a farm or integrating in their NFT marketplace. No one has been forgotten about. Everyone is going to be shouted out on the K9 Twitter if you're integrating K and Bone in some way into your community or your token or your product. So that's all. We're getting to it all. And it'll certainly be shared. I apologize if it's been slow for any people, but it's definitely been a busy week with just making sure that our product launch is going well. So everybody is definitely not forgotten, and everyone will be attended to with a tweet as promised from the K9 account. But in specific with Chewy, they similar to how we have our K and Bone farm on ShibaSwap, and Turtle can probably correct me on the exact number, but I think it's kind of approaching like 1.7 or 1.8 million in TVL alone, just in that one pool. But Chewy has also added a K and Bone pair, and they're offering people who farm there. And again, this is so exciting because there's no impermanent loss. It's pretty much you're able to just stake your bone, but you have to have both sides of the pair. Happy to have that conversation with anyone in our Telegram on how to do that. But you're going to be rewarded in Chewy if you're adding to that pair on Chewy Swap, which is so important for adoption of the K and Bone token on Shibarium. It's you need to be able to have K and Bone and have that usability across the blockchain for true adoption, and to have all three major dexes now on Shibarium integrating it, and integrating a stable pair like that just makes it much easier for other projects to start using it, because there becomes deeper liquidity. If you have Bone, you can easily swap for K and Bone. If you have K and Bone, you can easily swap for K9 or Bad Idea or CFun or any of these tokens that you may be purchasing on Shibarium. So it just improves the usability of K and Bone, which elevates everyone on Shibarium, in my opinion.
The latest when to hit Buzz's inbox. When post, when acknowledgement, when you're going to talk about me on social media. It never ends, man. You're going to get to them. I imagine it's all on a list and it'll get there. Part of that is also just in case they're wondering, you don't want to step on your posts. If they batched them all in one day, you guys wouldn't get the views anyway. They need to be staggered out in a way that they get the best exposure with time between them. So there's reasons to space them out, not overload your posts and stuff like that. I want to make a swerve. We're a little over halfway. I do have some things I wanted to talk about that were less exciting than the stuff up front, but I would consider it house cleaning and housekeeping. What's up with BingX? I know this is not a cool subject because we're kind of fighting with them to get stuff back, but either one of you, Buzz or Turtle, do you know what the latest word from BingX has been up to today?
Yeah, I can grab that one. So I do have some updates there. So for anyone who's listening, who's on the roundtable, which is our governance panel for the DAO, I've been forwarding the exact discussion to that chat of what's been going on with BingX, because it's been something that's gotten a lot of our attention. But we reached out to BingX right after the hack, and we asked for a firm action plan. And if anyone's, I know Mr. Lightspeed has probably seen the communication there as well. We've certainly been holding them to what we can. We attended their Spaces update, I believe they did last Friday, and we were not satisfied with the lack of concrete information. They then announced on their Twitter that they were opening withdrawals. So we approached them again and said, hey, how are you opening withdrawals when you still have not given a solution to our community? So we've been certainly holding their feet to the fire and asking for a concrete action plan of what they were going to do. And yesterday, they provided our community an offer. And they asked us to extend, I forget the exact wording that they said, but it was they extend them some leniency in paying back the DAO, because they ultimately $60,000 of tokens were stolen, and they only wanted to compensate the DAO with $40,000 to get those tokens back. And just for anybody who may be wondering, because it was the most common question in the roundtable Telegram chat, that money that would be received from the DAO would be used to be buying K9 tokens from the open market. So that was the latest update yesterday. We came back and basically said we do not have the ability to give this sort of leniency. We expect that the full amount, the full dollar value of tokens will be given back to the DAO. 97% of the tokens that were impacted in the hack were property of K9 DAO. So all of us who are listening here, it's part of our property. So we told them we want the full $60,000 back, and we said that I'd be willing to put out a tweet commending BingX for their ability to support K9, and I commit to that. But this morning we received another message saying that they were going to take our message into consideration and potentially buy on the market instead. So right now it's there's a few offers that are sort of in the wing with BingX. So we're not exactly sure the 100% positive direction that they will go, but we are very confident that there's going to be some solution, some positive solution for the K9 community. So either BingX is going to be purchasing all of the tokens from the open market that they need to enable withdrawals on their platform, or option number two is that they're going to be giving the DAO the USDT to pay for the affected tokens. The DAO would be providing them with the tokens, and then the DAO would be using that USDT received to purchase the tokens from the open market to replace the tokens in the treasury. So very bullish news that has kind of developed over the course of the last 36 hours or so. And if anyone does find this helpful or transparent, welcome to post somewhere in a K9 channel just exactly what the discussion has been with BingX, because it's as many of you know listening to the spaces, the lack of transparency from exchanges is something that certainly irks me personally, and we just want to be as transparent as we can and really fight for the community and make sure that the DAO is done right by.
So I was listening very intently to what you said, and I have a question, because you said that BingX will either buy from the open market what they need to allow for withdrawals. Theoretically, they would have to buy $60,000 because we could withdraw the 97% that the DAO owns, as well as the other holders that hold 3%. So they would, in order to do that, they need to buy that. But it is not the intent, or I guess this would be the question then, if they did that and they put 97% of that back into the DAO's wallet that was emptied, what are we doing with it? Are we going to stay there and allow trading to just continue like shit didn't happen? Or are we actually interested in withdrawing that? And I know you don't right now have the answer to that, but that's what my question becomes. Because if they're saying, hey, we could make it so that everybody can withdraw, that's not necessarily our goal, unless it is it?
I see where you're going with the question. The trepidation in giving an exact answer would be in case there is somebody from BingX here listening. and trying to see what our next move would be in K9 while we're really trying to negotiate for the best solution for the DAO. So I really see no upside in saying what we would do from the DAO perspective when, of course, if you're listening, we're going to do what's in the DAO's best interest, and I'll allow people to infer what that may be.
Obviously, we want to stay. We have a great relationship with BingX. We'd love to continue trading and allow them to make plenty of money on the volume. These are all hypotheticals coming from Pulse Digital, not K9. I said that up front. I tried to get the waiver in there up front, but I have to ask because that's what came to mind. It starts an interesting conversation. But good on them, like you said. If they do this, and then we can make the post and say, hey, believe it or not, they came through and they made us whole. That'd be good. It's good. It's good exposure. I mean, making lemonade, right?
I think it's just premature to say exactly what we would do as a DAO, because it's also worth mentioning that they have not only offered to replace or rather purchase all the tokens from the open market, but they've also offered to do a trading competition on the K9 token for $30,000 worth of prizes. None of these deals are closed. This is all information that we're sharing to the community in an effort of transparency, so that people can see where these conversations are at. But as soon as there is closure on what exactly will happen from the BingX side of things, we'll certainly be posting a very detailed action plan for exactly how things will go.
I will stand readily waiting for the action plan. I'll stop stirring up shit. I appreciate you. This is my favorite part of hosting these things. That's how you guys know that I'm not getting these questions in any way ahead of time, because I cooked them on that one. I appreciate you, bro. Do you have a corner for me? Because last week you were so overwhelmed with the launch that I know you hadn't scoured the internet for anything that had piqued your interest. Have you seen anything this week that's got you cooking?
Well, we kind of got into, at the top of the show, what was really piquing my interest. And I love to look for these sort of macro crypto signals that may be sparking the market. And what really had my interest was that whole conversation earlier around how it currently costs more to mine one Bitcoin than it does to buy one. And kind of what has happened historically under those circumstances. And I just love the parallel looking at Shibarium and how, okay, right now it costs more to sign a checkpoint than it does to purchase the bone. So you can buy 5 bone cheaper than it would cost in gas to sign a checkpoint. And I just love that parallel. And it's of course have 2020 vision now with bone being up to almost 50 cents today. But it's a step in the right direction, of course, and very excited about Bone getting some well-deserved exposure here. And also Shib has had an amazing day as well. We hope that this momentum can continue, but those are often the signals that I personally love looking at, and the rest of the K9 team does as well, because they're on Twitter or on X, when you're scrolling, you see influencers say, post charts and analyses on, oh, it looks like this line on a chart is being hit and this coin may go up. But I've always found, just being in the industry for a while, that those signals of what large money is doing, especially in Bitcoin, when you look at miner activity, I've found that can be a very predictive variable into how the price of Bitcoin may go. So it was just a very interesting insight that right now it's cheaper to purchase Bone than it is to sign a checkpoint. And what can happen with that is that people who are signing checkpoints don't want to sell their Bone. They want to buy more and DCA or hold at the very least. And then that can create a bit of a supply shock. And we would be very happy from the K9 perspective if that were to happen, given that we're bringing so much utility to Bone. We're very long Bone. We're one of the largest net buyers of Bone over the course of the last 4 to 6 months. And it would be very, very healthy for the K9 product, and of course the K9 treasury as well, to have that happen. And we're here to continue supporting.
Some of the only people that are more excited about Bone are currently in our whale group using the liquid staking products. So if it's not us, then we've been surrounded by those people. That's the goal, is to get them all on the same boat and start rowing in the same direction. So those are good points.
Yeah, definitely. And in our whale chat, there's been such great discussion as to how people are maximizing their rewards using K9 as well. Many people who are K9 whales have also started to accumulate very large bags of bone as well. Just because not only can you get, I believe it's just around 30% APR for locking your K9 for up to a year. You can also get close to a 30% APR if you're just depositing bone to K9 bone and getting in the boneyard staking farm. So there's a good opportunity there that our whales have identified, and there's been really great brainstorming within that chat as well as to how we get that messaging out to more bone holders. Turtle actually came up with an amazing marketing idea that's still being explored by our team. On DBank, you can actually create a profile there, which he's done, and do really, really interesting queries surrounding bone holders. Well, any token holder, really. You can search for people's DBank profiles that maybe hold more than $5,000 or $10,000 worth of bone. And they've created this very interesting, almost like an email marketing system where you can set a price to send these wallets messages via DBank. And these messages are definitely checked. Shima has one of the top wallets on DBank just in terms of his DeFi activity and the amount of transactions and things that he's doing. And he is an avid DBank messaging user. He responds to them, and he actually makes money on it because people want to reach out to him for advice or things like that because they see that his wallet is so active. And so that's just a good case study that people who are very active in DeFi check their DBank messages. So Turtle has identified that we could do a campaign where we're sending messages to large bone holder wallets to make them aware of what K9 has built, and that there's an opportunity that exists here. And the great thing about what he's found is that unlike traditional email marketing plans, you basically put in an offer, say it's $1, to send the message to somebody, and they only get that $1 if they read the message or respond to the message. I'm not sure which one, but something really interesting to explore as we start to transition into a phase of growth versus a phase of really just describing what we're going to be building. And I think everyone in our community is very excited to now be in a growth phase rather than a talk about what we're going to do in the future phase.
That's a great catch, Turtle. Thinking about outside the box marketing using DBank specifically like that. Is that something you use as well? How did you come across it?
Yeah, I'm like one of these DeFi degens that we're looking for, right? Like I come from ETH, but I've been yield farming and stuff like that for years. And when I'm looking for opportunity, these are the places I go. And then it just occurred to me, well, this is where K9 needs to be prominent then. So, we'll see how it goes, but we're definitely making moves in the right direction there, I think.
It would also be a move in the right direction. Signing up for forum.k9finance.com. Have you been to the forums? Turtle's worked really hard, and we need at least one sign up every Thursday. Forum.k9finance.com. Your source for DAO-related discussion and information. Sign up today.
That's better than most professional news channels get. Like, I appreciate that. No, the forums have been a little quiet in the last week, with product launch, but there are some pretty significant proposals coming. So, if you're listening and you're interested in being involved or providing feedback, et cetera, definitely suggest you sign up and participate. Big decisions that involve everybody here are being made. And, in order to have your voice heard, you have to be on the forum.
Ooh, I like that. In order to have your voice heard, you have to be on the forum. It's election season, you guys. You want to go get your itchy trigger finger ready, go get your forum posts in, go read, go leave your feedback. Remember to keep checking in. Just because things are live doesn't mean the forums aren't active, and I appreciate that. Remember, if anybody signs up today, check in for double bonus points on Thursday when you sign up, and be sure to tip your waitress. Funk, I've got a little bit of extra time here. What have you been up to this week? Because they're talking about Bitcoin, and I love macro talk and stuff like that. Is there anything that had your attention this week that you might interest us in?
Well, I feel a little bit like I don't know how to describe it. Like if you've been like beaten so many times, you just kind of like learn to like your abuser or something like that. But when it comes to the Bitcoin macro markets, it's been absolutely, well, for Bitcoin in particular, it's been great. It's been a great market, but for the altcoins, it's just all-time low after all-time low, and I'm finally seeing reversal. I'm finally seeing ETH outperform Bitcoin for the first time in ages. So I would like to see that trend continue, because that would signal an altcoin market when ETH dominance is outpacing Bitcoin. I think those are some of the indicators that might lead to that. I'm an ETH maxi. Obviously, Bitcoin is the OG and controls the market, but when it comes to functionality and what I've been building my career on, it's been based on the tech that was, enabled and creaed by Vitalik and the Ethereum network. So let's just say I'm really happy to see ETH finally pumping, and it's kind of changed my mind. But again, I'm tepid because of election season and volatility. And are we truly in an upward bullish cycle? I don't know. But what I am excited for is, hey, my bone holdings are up, my canine holdings are up, my ship holdings are up. And next week is going to be a pretty special week for canine, as well as CoinMerch, actually. This is kind of serendipitous that I chose to use this profile picture. So looking forward to some announcements next week that should be coming out here. We're pretty excited about it. So that's it from me, but excited to see a little hope in the market, hopium.
It's nice to see a little altcoin action for me, and I hadn't heard anyone mention this yet. CZ gets out of jail in 3 days. Papa ZZ, please come pump my B&Bs again. I held them the whole time. I was a good boy. I need you to come out of prison and save me.
Wait, you didn't liquidate all your
No, I'm too dumb to die, bro. You don't even know the detriment of these diamond hands. I'd sink to the bottom of the sea. I'm so stupid. I'm excited to have him come out. I'm not actually so stupid that I think he's going to revolutionize crypto or anything, but I think
we need, you know what? He's been a force for good in DeFi, I think, in my opinion. So having him back out is maybe just another catalyst, just another piece of wood on the fire that's going to burn the biggest bull market we've ever seen. Or not.
Nature is healing. Nature is healing is what I was going to go with. He's got to transition from CEO to KOL because now he can't run anything. He's got an ankle monitor on.
If he becomes a DeFi KOL, that would be an amazing turn of events. That'd be hilarious.
That's exactly what I'm worried about. He's going to be DJing at the next party I go to, and I'm going to be like, son of a bitch, this is no good. Anyway, it's the Steve Aoki top signal is what I'm worried about. CZ becoming something like Steve Aoki. But I digress. Welcome to Shane's weird corner, Pulse Digital's round corner. But that'll be it. I'll go ahead and wrap up on that funny point. We'll all get our cakes ready for ZZ. I'll have the memes ready by the time we come back around and we can celebrate together. This has been a good one, you guys. We had a whole week between now and going live. The numbers are up, which is something we're all interested in. I'll be interested to see where they are 7 days from now. I appreciate you guys pulling up. I am going to give Buzz one more opportunity, but next week, I would like to see some more people up in here. If we can get some of the KOLs to come back up and around, that'd be great. If we can get a chance to get DeFi Llama up in here, I want to say that one more time out loud because I think it would be cool to get them up in here. I also see Assure DeFi stopping by down there. Don't think I didn't see you sneak in, bro. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out at the show. You're welcome to come up sometime if you want to chat. Lightspeed dipped out, but Bad Idea said thank you, and they are happy to have that pair. Remember, Bad Idea is available over on their on Shibarium now with K and Bone. And then Buzz, final thoughts?
Yeah, Turtle actually sent me, we'll send in a group chat this morning, a really interesting story of how he woke up this morning. And I think it would be a great plug for him to tell that story just about our daily stream where we're always streaming the price of SHIB. Turtle, if you wanted to tell that story, I think it's a great plug to watch our stream on Twitter about the price of SHIB.
Oh, yeah. No, I woke up early, just like had heard a noise or something. It was probably like 5:30, 6 a.m. maybe. And, usually get up a little later than that. But the stream, the price tracker runs 24/7, and I have it on one of the screens in my house at night. And so I wake up and I look at the screen, and SHIB was literally like off the chart. Like I needed to go fix the price tracker, or the chart or whatever. And I didn't even need coffee for the next hour after that, right? Next thing I saw was Bone and everything else, moving, canine, et cetera. So it was just a good start to the day. So I was glad I had it on, I guess.
The best part of waking up is gains in your cup, I guess.
Yeah,
is what we're
love
gonna
it.
Right, man. Natural adrenaline will beat the caffeine every time. There were points in time where I remember having a hard time sleeping, guys. It'll be like that again. I've been saying we're coming up. It'll be 6 months post halving in February. I've had my sights set on then for a long time. Pulse Digital, remember, not K9. I'm just a dude in a K9 suit up here, but I'm so excited, and I'm excited to hear your guys' sentiment about everything. I'm excited to see the charts moving in the right direction, and I'm excited to do another episode next week. It'll be number 37 weeks continuously getting together, crushing bones and bridging to Shibarium, bringing liquid to a new chain, and bringing TVL to an all-time high. I'm going to say that at the end, to an all-time high. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to Buzz, Turtle, and the entire team, Shima, and everybody on the dev side. We appreciate you guys for doing all the work, and congratulations to everybody with your yields. Are you guys sharing all that stuff on social media? Are you screenshotting and showing people how this works? Because that absolutely has to happen. It's not bragging. I'm not saying you need to brag, but you need to get out there and let people know how this is working, because that's the easiest way to get them in. A little FOMO goes a long way. Go ahead, Buzz. I know you're on it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to bring that up, actually. There's been a lot of people sharing in the whale chat just how much bone they've made or how much ESK9 they've made with the product. And what I've been saying in the whale chat is that there's no better testimonial for any company on earth than just sharing your positive experience of using a product. So if people are having a positive experience, they're very happy with how much bone they're earning, very happy with how much ESK9 they're earning, post it on social. That's the best way that we're as a community, we're going to get more people and more eyeballs onto the product is just word of mouth. I hate to say this, but sometimes I feel as though sometimes people may be sick of hearing me. We're going to all of these different spaces, and sometimes it can be a repetitive pitch on what we are with K9 and what we're doing. But I think when it comes from the community and comes from users with a very genuine explanation of what we're building and how you're benefiting from using it, it goes a long way. You're more likely to buy a product or use a product if you have a friend tell you or make that recommendation. It's just marketing from all over. So
let me you're going to love this, Buzz. I'm going to repackage that, and somebody's going to love this and somebody's going to hate it. Listen, I do fitness for a living. Do you think I send people videos of me talking about fitness or pictures of fat people I made skinny when it's time to close the deal? Come on. You know what I'm doing. You know what people want. They want the results, my guy. They don't want to hear the technical. Send them what they want. Show them that you made gains. Show them that you're making money, and they're going to go, shit, I too enjoy money and making it. And then they will take a look in, and that's all we got to do. Buzz, I know you'll appreciate the fitness analogy on that. I had to, bro. I had to go there. Guys, this has been another episode of the weekly DAO update, number 36. I'm Pulse Digital, hosting from the K9 Finance account. Once again, co-hosting with the SHIB account. We're pals now. We do this all the time. I appreciate you pulling up to co-host, man. Guys, remember, co-host protection prevents rugging. It's also nice to have co-hosts in case I have connection problems. So thank you for being my bodyguard up here, Shib. You look beautiful. And we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, K9 Finance account with Pulse Digital and the group. We'll see you again, guys. Have a great day. I appreciate you.